anyway at wing forward.
Yeah, I think you couldn't leave him off in the form he's shown. He's been outstanding all year, waited patiently for his chance, showed a great attitude. I expect he'll be in the corner with Shefflin on the wing and Owen Larkin in the centre.
Any concerns then about how the inside forward line has been playing this year?
Yeah, I think Eddie Brennan recovered his form very well the last day against Waterford. Richie Power, big game for him, he was outstanding during the league, and Aidan Fogarty, a big match player, and you'll see plenty of rotation in there as well.
OK, let's switch the focus of attention now to Tipperary and to Brendan Cummins.
He's been around for a long time, outstanding serving to Tipperary, and he's crucial today. I think he can't tuck the ball long down on top of that Kilkenny half-back line, so his tactical nous is going to be tested today.
Michael, it's a largely inexperienced full-back line.
Well, Paul Curran's been around, but Paddy Stapleton and Tariq Maher new to them, first All-Ireland finals as it is for Curran, but he has more experience, and you know, they were a bit better the last day, but a lot of pressure I think on Stapleton in particular in the corner.
Now, because he's the youngest, do you think Kilkenny will target Brendan Maher there at left half?
I think there's no doubt they will. I expect Henry Shefflin to start on him. They have a habit of doing that, Kilkenny. They put Shefflin where they think the weakest link might be, and Maher was a great minor, but it's a huge step up today.
Into midfield, where the form of Woodlock and McGrath I think has been somewhat patchy.
Yeah, it has. They're relying on their athleticism. You can see there from the stats, 5'10 and 5'11 against two huge physical men, so they're giving away stones and weight and inches in height, so they'll have to be at their very, very best, I think, to break even today.
Do you think Tip are any nearer to solving their problems with the half-forward line?
Well, I thought Kerwick and O'Brien were very solid all year. Callan is in and out of the games. You know, he'll have to impose himself physically a lot more. He's a big man, and he did have that. It was him who injured Brian Hogan in the league final, and Hogan won't forget that, so I expect a few fireworks there early on.
Absolutely. Well, if Tip are to win, this line will have to produce the goods.
They will, and they're outstanding players. Owen Kelly has defied the 10 barrier all year. He's been badly injured. Corbett's on fire, but Noel McGrath, to me, for his age, is the most complete hurler in many years, and a lot of pressure on them today, but I think they have the ability to score goals, and they'll have a big part to play today.
OK, Michael, thanks a lot. I can tell you that Kilkenny have won the toss, and they will play from left to right in the first half. Back to Michael.
Thank you, gentlemen, for the moment now. Just chatting to the panel here. You know, we were talking earlier on about the fact that Charles Fitzpatrick is missing from the Kilkenny team today. Had the mumps earlier in the season. Bit of a leg injury gathered during the week. So somebody like Gerard and Derek Ling, there will be a lot of responsibility on his shoulders today, along with obviously Michael Rice there.
I know he did that, but you couldn't drop Michael Rice. Michael Rice is absolutely brilliant all through the campaign and all through the league. He was fantastic in the league final. And I think bringing in Derek Ling is such a vital link man between the defence and the attack. He's a brilliant defender, and they have been conceding goals, and I think they have missed him. His covering back was always fantastic, and then he's a huge support, especially to Henry Shefflin, to lay on the ball to him, to put the ball over the bar. So I think they couldn't leave off Ling, even if Char was fit. Ling playing so well in training, I always thought he was going to be on.
Yeah, there is the man in question, Tomas.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brian Cody's decision is putting them in there is trying to counteract James Woodlock and Shane McGrath, because they have a lot of pace and they like travelling with the ball and they like going forward, and Ling is a great man to get back, but he's also a great man to go forward himself, you know.
Yes.
And what he'll be trying to do is put those two Tipperary guys on the back foot. Every time that he gets the ball, he's bursting forward, and he can contribute points from midfield.
He reminds you a lot, Tomas, as well, of the old Kilkenny hurler called Frank Cummins. He's a powerhouse midfield. He throws his body around a lot. Isn't the fancy stuff he does? Like, he's from an Immer's club, intermediate. They don't use him intermediate championship, but like, I tell you one thing, he's a man for the big day, and you'll find that if he can't give it for the full 70 minutes, he'll slip him off there, but he'll have his hard graft and work.
It's a matter of combining workhorses with real talent.
He complements the other
midfielders.
We know the quality of the half-forward line, Kilkenny, Owen Larkin and Henry Shefflin, but the other man that's there, Richie Hogan.
Well, he's the white hope since the last 3 or 4. He's a beautiful player. He's a few All-Irelands picked up already. First touch brilliant in the league final, 110. He stepped up to the freeze when Henry went off that day. And like, he's a very good player. The match I saw him playing in training, he was immaculate. Now, he's picked wing forward. He could play anywhere. But he's not the physical type of Comerford, but like he's a scorer.
He got 110 in the league final, right? And I'm just surprised that he's left Martin Comerford off the team, being honest with you, because Martin Comerford, he was man of the match in the Leinster final against Dublin. He's 6'3", 6'4". He can play centre forward. You put him on the wing. You can put him in full forward. There is fierce flexibility with him, and like, I think maybe Brian Cody wants to attack this Tipperary team with the first 10 minutes with pace and stuff like that.
Do you expect Richie to be wing forward?
No, I don't expect him. No, he'll be in the corner and maybe at a break.
Go back to the league final. He went in full forward than Paul Curran.
Yes.
Paul Curran had been playing great. Now Paul Curran is out corner back.
Yes.
He's going to go in on Paul Curran because he got 1-3 from play of Paul Curran in a half an hour and won the game for Kilkenny.
But the reason I said about Martin Comerford is on the basis.
He takes on the hard stuff.
I haven't seen Aidan Fogarty too much this year as being a starting forward, or I haven't seen Richie Power. I mean, Richie Power is a fantastic player, but he hasn't had the best of championships, you know. And for Martin Comerford, who was out
after the Leicester final,
you know.
2-4,
What about the pressure on Conor O'Mahony today, centre back for Tipperary?
Well, the pressure is on all Tipperary fellas.
Yes, it is.
I am afraid that Conor O'Mahony could be on Eddie Brennan, and Eddie Brennan could take him on a tour of Croke Park.
You know, he gets it up,
that's the biggest danger.
Do, like.
I think when Conor O'Mahony is faced with a strong man to man, he's very, very good. But when he's dragged out his position by a fast player, then he can get into trouble. And what do you do with Eddie? Do you follow him, or do you hold your position? And if you do follow him, if you don't follow him, if you hold your position, then you must have somebody else selected to follow Eddie, because you cannot let Eddie Brennan loose. But I'm sure Liam Sheedy has thought of all of this. He's a great player. He's coming back into full form. He had the mumps at the start of the year. He will hold the centre.
But that would suit Tipperary if Eddie Brennan's gone to centre forward, because whereas Eddie Brennan, the biggest threat, is in around the goal. But we've seen for the last All-Ireland finals who's been the man that's put the ball in the back of the net.
That's very true.
Eddie Brennan.
We know the quality of the Kilkenny number 11, Henry Shefflin, obviously. What about the Tip number 11?
Yeah, well, like, he's a great enigma even in Tipperary hurling, because
Seamus
is different to the usual Tipperary centre forward. He's not big and not strong, but he's very good in the air. He's strong enough to use him, but he plays unusual centre forward. He'll dip out to midfield, he'll dip left, dip right, and he does a lot of running from centre forward into the full forward line for a cross ball. Now, he won't be standing under the ball and winning. But after saying that, the last in the league final when they met, he took it was a fair tackle. He took Hogan out of the game. But I think today, Tomas, the interesting is this: Kilkenny, we know what they're going to do. The six backs will lie back tight. Midfield will go back a bit to the half back line. Half forward and come out a bit, and full forward come out to half forward. And I think Tip will do the same thing. And whoever gets in front, the other team is going to have to change.
Okay, well, now it's time for the introduction of Ultron here, Mary McAleese, who is accompanied by her husband. You can see just behind there, Martin, and of course Christy Cooney, president of the GA, as they take the salute.
Turn now of President McAleese to meet the teams. The pre-match ceremonial, I suppose, a well-defined part of the afternoon's choreography. President McAleese, accompanied by GAA President Christy Cooney, and our aide-de-camp, by the way, is Captain Murty Larkin, who's a nephew of Mickey the Rattler Byrne. And straight away it's Henry Shefflin's turn, deputising Henry, of course, for Michael Fennelly, the nominated captain today. The President will know these Kilkenny fellas pretty well by now. For the Uachtaráin of Commonwealth class well behind her. It's the first All-Ireland semi-final, of course, in his 3-year presidency. And that's Aidan Fogarty there, and the President will now meet the referee as well, and the officials. Diarmuid Kerwin is the referee, now based in Ovens. Michael Wadding, James Owens will be his linesman. Alan Kelly, the silent official. The umpires are Brendan O'Leary, Dennis O'Brien, Liam O'Leary, and there's Noel Toomey there as well. And now the turn of Tipperary, Conor O'Mahony leading them into battle in the absence of Willie Ryan. Strange to have two captains who are not the originally selected captains in charge of the two teams this afternoon. And it's the end of a decade where President McAleese has seen Tipperary win the McCarthy Cup just once, while Kilkenny, of course, have finished All-Ireland final day triumphant on 6 occasions. Cork, the other winners, back-to-back in 04 and 05. So Conor O'Mahony now introducing Noel McGrath there, the 18-year-old. Owen Kelly has been here before, and there's Lar Corbett as well. The big question is who will win the 10th final of the opening decade of the 21st century.
Sure, we don't know the answer to that. Obviously, at this stage, 5 minutes' time, the action will begin. But one thing that I can tell you is that the rain has staved off for the moment here at Croke Park, and that's good news in itself. So who will be putting their hands on that cup, whether it's up in the Hogan stand or down the pitch or wherever the presentation will eventually be made. Our panel here are going to give us their final thoughts. Tomas Mulcahy.
Well, I think the best game of hurling we've seen this year was the National Hurling League final between these two sides. The referee, again, will have a big bearing on today. I hope he lets it go the way he did in that match, because hurling needs it, right? I think Kilkenny has picked up from the start of the year that they will have the overall strength to win this game, you know, but I would expect the mother of all battles from Tipperary, from the very early. And if they do manage to get a good start, to get goals past Kilkenny, they're in the driving seat then, you know. But I mean, I would think overall experience, big match, the All-Ireland final day, been here for the last 3 years, it's Kilkenny for me.
Sure.
Well, we all know what they expect from Kilkenny. You know, the dogs in the street are saying Kilkenny are going to win the 4 in a row because, you know, of the great traits they have, and rightly deserve over the last 3 or 4 years. Right, how will Tip cope with the situation? How will they cope with the big occasion? The last two teams that came here didn't. How will the defence cope with the brilliant Kilkenny forward line? Two midfielders, big questions over those. The wing forwards, will they gain enough possession? All question marks. But in spite of all that, I still think Tip has something extra in the bag. They've improved from game to game, and without any provisos, I'm going to go for Tip to win the game.
Well, in actual fact, Gerard, this game is in a kind of way set up a little bit for Tipperary. You know, everybody is clapping Kilkenny on the back, this great Kilkenny team, which of course they are. Tip will bring their tradition here today and say, listen, we have another thought
They'll bring their tradition, they'll bring their natural confidence being in finals. Yeah. They're not going to be overawed by the situation, I think. Now, the big thing I think is I saw a huge improvement for Tip in the semi-final, especially that half-hour line in winning possession. That's the key area. Will that half-hour line win enough possession? I think they will. I just have the feeling that Tipperary are going to produce something really, really special today. And if they do, what a game we're going to have.
Sir Farley with the casting vote.
Yeah, well, I really think Brian Cody put the cat on the pigeons picking his team. And he took away all complacency. When you take off the likes of Cha and the likes of Comfort off the team, that most Kilkenny people thought would be on. Cha walked up the steps last year. Comfort has been man of the match many times this year. Take off both of them. It shows that he's telling others, listen, E15 are getting the honour of leading Kilkenny to an unprecedented 4 in a row. If you're not doing the job, someone else is going to come on, and I think that's what keeps them fresh. Everyone's trying to say that they should be going over the top, but they haven't shown any signs of it. Okay, they're not blowing teams out by 30 or 40 points, but they're beating teams that are in front of them. And I see they've yet to do this year, and I have a feeling that today could be D-Day for them. And if they win today, they'll go down as an all-time great, and then it's going to be it's hard to stop them from 5. But we have the two best teams there. We're going to have a great game, but I think Kilkenny will still get through.
It's the All-Ireland Hurling Final of 2009. Back to the commentary box then to rejoin Ger Canning and Michael Dignan.
Michael, it's the 121st All-Ireland Hurling Final in this, the 125th year of the GAA. Kilkenny, as you know, going for that 4 in a row. And among their ranks today, by the way, if you go and look at the number 2 for them, who is Michael Kavanagh, well, Michael's already had a very, very big week, because Michael's wife Hazel gave birth to their first child on Thursday last, a boy named Charlie. So the news for the Kilkenny selectors is that there's a young man called Charlie Kavanagh. He's 4 days old. More importantly, he's underage for minor for the next 18 years. So congratulations to Michael and to Hazel, his wife. The Artane Band as well, back from Boston. They've been celebrating over there the 50th anniversary of the GAA board in North America. They were feted over there as well, I'm told. And from now on, September the 2nd is going to be known as Artane Day in America, in Boston. So the pre-match ceremonial has come to a conclusion. It's time for the anthem on All-Ireland Hurling Final Day. It's the final most people have wanted to see for the past couple of years. Tip have certainly longed for it, and now Kilkenny have the chance to complete their absolute domination of hurling in this country. Michael Dignan alongside me.
Yeah, Ger, and straight away the changes I expected. Owen Larkin gone centre forward, Richie Power to the wing, Richie Hogan corner forward, and Eddie Brennan full forward. Serious looking forward line from Kilkenny, and Tip moving around as well here.
Lark Corbett has gone to left half forward as the All-Ireland final gets underway, and it is Kilkenny from left to right. Whatever light breeze there is in the first half is backing Kilkenny. Straight away the pressure here on Jackie Turrell, but he gets in a very good clearance, a huge one down. Pressure immediately on the Tipperary full back line, a little fumble back there, but they managed to get that ball, Paul Curran in particular, and that's going to be a free out for Tipperary. Nervous, anxious seconds in the opening moments of this All-Ireland final.
Yeah, Jern. Actually, Eddie Brennan has gone wing forward now. So Eddie Brennan right half forward, Owen Larkin centre forward, and Richie Power on the wing. Richie Hogan, Henry Shefflin, and Aidan Fogarty inside.
Kilkenny always keep you second guessing where the positioning is concerned. Let's see what they can do now as they're put under pressure at the other end. Dealt with there, however, by Michael Rice, getting it back as far as Brian Hogan, the centre half back. Big one all the way down the field here. Coming across for it there was Declan Fanning, didn't get to it. Instead it is Richie Hogan trying to win possession. Coming out with it is James Woodlock, centre midfield for Tipperary. Straight in there towards Owen Kelly. Breaks down towards Noel McGrath. McGrath trying to, well, he's lost his stick. Getting it across towards Pat Kerwick. Looking for the opening score of the match, and a big boost for Tipperary if he can manage to get it, but he just puts it to the right of the target.
Yeah, and Jared, just to catch up maybe on the tip forward line, Pat Kerwick picked for number 10, Lara Corbett on centre, and John O'Brien on the wing. But inside then you have Owen Kelly, switch corner, right corner forward, Callan at full, and Noel McGrath in the left corner. I suggested during the week in the paper that I thought Noel McGrath would be over Michael Kavanagh. They're looking for him maybe to exploit. Kavanagh over 30 now, playing his 10th final, and McGrath. So there's the ultimate matchup, I think, with the young pretender against the man who's seen it all before.
Well, there's a concern here immediately, and the team doctor is in there, Dr. Ty Crowley, to attend to Owen Larkin, last year's hurler of the year. What a season he had for Brian Cody's team. That performance last year, 12 months ago, as they consider a substitute, well, I think that was probably their Nadia Comaneci moment, really. It was a 10 out of 10 performance. Can they possibly replicate it this afternoon? PJ Ryan pucking it out. Drop down. They look for it again here. In particular, Richie Power is looking for a big afternoon here. Still battling there with Declan Fanning. Fanning getting it up to his left hand. Released outside here into the middle of the field. Inevitably, it's Woodlock carrying it forward here. Using the possession cleverly. They're working it in here. This is a dangerous moment. Lar Corbett looking for a support player. There wasn't anybody there. You saw the Kilkenny players surrounding him immediately there. The referee going in, blowing his whistle. And I think just trying to defuse that.
Yeah, we're going to have a ferocious start. A great pace to the game and unbelievable atmosphere here, Jerry, I think, today. I think the one thing that stands to Kilkenny today, they're so long on the road. If they were playing any other emerging county, they'd have a very good chance. But I think that it's Tipperary. It's really sharpened their guard. They're going for 4 in a row. I met some Kilkenny people on the way in, and they're saying if we lose today, the other 3 don't count. Now that's a bit drastic, but there you say Jackie Turrell, he wasn't budging. And
I think the referee's going to throw the ball in, but as you say, he wasn't going to budge there. And certainly Tipperary felt that that was a foul on their man.
Yeah, it's a straight on. I suppose
pretty clear to me, I must say.
Yeah, well, you're not going to expect anyone to move out of the way today to let you through, and it's going to be tough going.
Anyway, I think it is going to be a throw-in at the end of all of that by match referee Dermot Kerwin, who is handling his second All-Ireland final. Callan's okay. Michael Kavanagh ready to line up for duty. Owen Kelly's in there as well. Eventually comes out of that stalemate situation to Brian Hogan. Hogan soloing from his centre-half back position. Out here towards Richie Power. Pressure applied by Pat Kerwick, who works his socks off. Nice ball in there towards Henry Shefflin. Looking for the opening score of the match, trying to set something up for his other forwards. Out there came Richie Hogan, couldn't quite get it up, and there was a chop down on this occasion, which is penalised by the referee. Very demonstrative in the way in which he made the call that time, Dermot Kerwin. And a chance for Kilkenny then to get their first point of the match, just to ease themselves into this game. I watched them coming off the bus about an hour before the start of the match here. They looked a bit tense, Kilkenny, I must say. Interesting, they all had a hurley in their hands on the journey up from Kilkenny, just to perhaps reinforce the fact that they are playing in a huge game, as Henry Shefflin puts that one over the bar. Such a good free taker, but that was a relatively easy one to start with.
And here's the sharp puckouts I was talking about, trying to get the ball past that half-back line, but straight on top of John Tennyson.
And he does really, really well from that clearance by Paddy Stapleton. Hooked. Comes out there. Richie Power's come way out from the full forward position. Conor O'Mahony now trying to set something up for Tipperary. Oh, the clearance there resulted in a Tipperary player going down. James Woodlock, I think he's going to be okay. Play continues. Owen Larkin has it. Owen Larkin has the shot and he puts it to the left and it's gone wide. First opportunity really for Owen Larkin, who was down injured only about 2 minutes ago.
Ball is loose there, and Tommy, in fairness, he goes for the ball. I think,
no doubt about it, he did go for the ball.
Yeah, I just found it interesting over the last few weeks. DJ Carey, Eddie Kerr, great hurler coming out in his defence that he's not a dirty ground. I don't think he is either. The big comment we made this year during the year was against Galway. We felt he should have got the line, but overall he plays on the edge. But that's what makes him such a great player. There's nothing wrong with that. No.
I mean, players have to play near that edge on occasions. Otherwise, I don't think their managers would be terribly pleased with them. Pressure again there on Tommy Welch. Needing a bit of support back there, it's Michael Rice. He's a very, very consistent midfielder. Out as far as Tommy Welch, gets it away down the field. A great catch, brilliantly taken there by Conor O'Mahony. Does well at centre half back. Taking it here is young Brendan Maher, 20 years of age. Straight to Brian Hogan. Hogan thundering out of defence. He started very well, the number 6 for Kilkenny. Good block there by James Woodlock, who came across Owen Larkin. Pressure immediately on Kilkenny's quarterback. Owen Kelly over there. Owen Kelly fouled, free in for Tipperary. And Noel McGrath went to him immediately and said, well done. And it's a chance then for Tipperary to get the levelling score after nearly 7 minutes of play.
Yeah, Jaron, I would have said Tip wouldn't win this Ireland without Owen Kelly at his best. And he has a bad back injury, but he started really well. He's very, very sharp, and he's won the first couple of balls that have gone up between himself and Jackie Turrell.
Interesting that he's doing the free taking and not Seamus Callanan.
Now you'd have to have Owen Kelly on the free, Jared, one of the great free takers of all time.
Well, they have shared it, and Kelly takes this one, and Kelly duly puts it over the bar.
Experience counts for a lot. Taking frees out there is not easy, and Kelly will counteract Henry Shefflin. Two brilliant free takers,
especially on a tense, nervous day like this one.
And clever position him on Jackie Turrell, because McGrath scored 4 points off Turrell in the league final, and Turrell would have been waiting for him today, so clever tactics.
Turrell did well on Milan last time.
Exactly.
Here's Rice out here as far as Tommy Welch. Leaves it behind, however. Lar Corbett's gone roaming way out the field. Back in once again by Conor O'Mahony to the inside forward line. Callanan getting there, but the ball doesn't reach him. It's JJ Delaney out as far as Tommy Welch. Diagonal ball across here. A one that caused problems, and it's going to cause problems again. What a very good save by Brendan Cummins. It was there for Henry Shefflin to take, and the goalkeeper got down to deny the Ballyhale Shamrocks player. Well, you remember against Waterford, that ball slipped through, and Kilkenny got a goal that afternoon. On this occasion, a very vigilant Brendan Cummins did remarkably well. That's a good stop.
It is, Jared. If you watch what he did, he stayed on his feet. He didn't panic when Shefflin got through. He stayed on his feet till the last minute and went down, made a good save off his left side.
So in the follow-up, there's a chance for Kilkenny to get something out of this attack. Henry Shefflin composing himself. This to put Kilkenny back in front again. He's put it wide. They get absolutely nothing.
And that's a big moment, because Kilkenny have scored early goals in the last couple of All-Irelands, but it just shows you the presence he has. Tariq Maher 9 times out of 10 have gone out with that ball, but when Shefflin's lurking behind you, a bit of nerves kick in.
That's well caught there by Pat Kerwick. He's fouled on the 45-metre line, and now there's a chance for Tipperary to tap this one over the bar, and they can go and take the lead. You mentioned the last couple of years there. You remember Limerick in 07 and Waterford last year, of course, and the concession of early goals effectively ruined the finals.
That's right. I don't think you're going to have that type of a game today. Just the movement of the tip half forward. And if you look where Pat Kerwick caught that ball, almost in the left half forward position, he's playing right half forward. So that's what they're going to try to do all day, is move that half back then all over the place.
Michael Rice has been warned by the referee for that last foul. Owen Kelly taking. And Owen Kelly keeping his 100% record going. 2 in a row for Owen Kelly, and Tip lead by 2 points to 1. Well, the rain has eased. Pitch is going to be soft and slippery, of course, as well. PJ Ryan's puck out, a huge one towards top of the right. Batting it out there is Brendan Maher. Comes straight back down to the unmarked Tommy Welch. Blocked down there well by John O'Brien. Welch after it again, O'Brien after him, Lar Corbett after him as well. Still it's Tommy Welch. Catching it brilliantly here is Declan Fanning, who switched across to the other wing. Not the greatest of hand passes over, puts his own man in difficulty. Battling there to take it up was Aidan Fogarty, way out of attack that time. Forward by John Tennyson. Henry Shefflin in there to challenge, comes straight back out again. Conor O'Mahony in there to tussle with him. Pádraig Maher now. He's had a great season, Pádraig Maher, starting back in the league final, which was a great game in Thurles at the beginning of May between these same two teams. Michael Kavanagh now, cross into open space. Henry Shefflin racing across towards it. Shoulder there by Declan Fanning. Still they wait for that ball to come back out. Henry Shefflin still after it. That time he's closed down really, really well by Paddy Stapleton. Great battle between these two great teams. Michael Rice now driving it in there 20 metres out from the Tipperary goal. In there to win it once again, Brendan Maher. Out by Shane McGrath. Huge one way down the field. Loose ball across here with Owen Kelly going across to try and pick it up onto his stick. First touch wasn't good, much better by Brian Hugg, but then he loses it to Seamus Callanan. Callanan setting it up here towards Lar Corbett. Corbett took going through, back on his feet immediately. The referee allowed an advantage there, but nothing accrued. Comes out towards Noel McGrath. How will he do in this final? He's been great so far. James Woodlock blocked down, brilliant block. Comes out here to Derek Ling, and Ling, the midfielder, gets it away down the field for Kilkenny once again, where it bounces around there. No quarter given, none expected as Brendan Maher clears once again for Tipperary. Great start by both of these teams. Callanan with the shot, rather mishit it, and he's put it wide. It was a good chance for Seamus Callanan, who's got 3 goals and 7 points already in this year's championship.
Yeah, and I think Dermot Cowan trying to let the game flow. Some of the tackles, fairly hard, but nice to let it go, because I think if you start blowing too much too early, you take the flow away. And I just think interesting, Tipperary win a lot of the 50-50 ball so far. That doesn't normally happen to Kilkenny.
Declan Fanning taking it down. He's the commanding figure on that half-back line already. Playing today in his 24th championship match. Free out for Tipperary. Conor O'Mahony will take this. Their on-field captain, of course. Willie Ryan is the nominated captain, or was before the start of the league and the championship. He's among the subs. So Conor O'Mahony has got 4 points from frees already in this year's campaign. Huge distance out on a largely still afternoon, dropping in there dangerously. It was John O'Brien who got the stick to it, and he put it wide. No great complaints from John.
Owen Kelly is challenging it in there. Okay, we'll just watch it there now. That's John Tennyson's hand. That's 65. Yeah. I knew by Owen Kelly's reaction, because sporting player that he is, he wouldn't be looking for it if it wasn't.
So it should have been a 65, but it wasn't.
He should be looking for it, even if it wasn't, but he wouldn't.
The Offaly way of thinking. Back in the centre here is James Woodlock. Driving it down. Kavanagh under pressure there with Noel McGrath. In comes Lar Corbett. Lar, 45 metres out, hits the shot and he puts it over the bar. First of the day for Lar Corbett. As a 19-year-old, he won an All-Ireland medal here in 2001. This time picked that ball up despite the attentions of Tommy Welsh and Michael Kavanagh. Got clear and struck it brilliantly. It's 3-1 for Tipperary. From the puck out, Shane McGrath makes an absolutely wonderful catch in the middle of the park, and then loses it here to Eddie Brennan. Shortens the grip on the stick and taps it over the bar. First chance that Eddie Brennan has got, and he seals that with a point, and it's 3-2. After a great catch by Shane McGrath, came down, lost it, and Eddie Brennan did the rest.
Yeah, he went too high. Brilliant catch going backwards, but he fell unfortunately, and he couldn't just get up and get rid of the ball.
A lot of pressure on Woodlock and McGrath coming into this match in the middle of the park. I mentioned in the scenes that their form had been somewhat patchy. That was McGrath again, getting it in now as far as Owen Kelly. After him is Jackie Tyrrell. Has the composure, has the accuracy, has that skill to put it over the bar. Kelly with 3 points so far. That the first from play, and it's 4 points to 2.
Yeah, and there's no doubt Kilkenny are worried about Tip. That ball should have been let go by Derek Ling back. John Tennyson was loose behind him, but he panicked, went for the ball, and good ground ball into Kelly, and he's absolutely flying it out in front of Jackie Tyrrell. He's winning every ball there.
Wind picking up a little bit in the last couple of minutes. It's favouring Kilkenny, by the way, in the first half, as Tommy Welsh gets the catch there, gets away from Woodlock. Tommy Welsh settling himself, having a go, firing it in, but putting the ball over the bar. Yes, it's made it. The umpire was tantalising us for a moment. Finally got the white flag up, and Tommy Welsh over the bar, his second point in this year's championship.
And another brilliant score. The quality of the score so far has been exceptional, and Tommy Walsh, just leadership there. He wanted to get under that ball. Here's the short puck out again.
Here we're back with live play now here again, and it's Eddie Brennan having a go. It's going to drop short into the arms there of Brendan Cummins. Cummins getting away from Aidan Fogarty to his centre-half back, who's Conor O'Mahony. Henry Shefflin's after him, trying to hook him, does well. Into the middle of the park, stopped there by Michael Rice. On as far as Owen Larkin. Larkin has to go, and Larkin puts it over the bar. Another for Kilkenny, a first of the day for Owen Larkin.
And you see again, Ger, what Henry Shefflin brings to the team. That's what separates him from all the players. The work rate and his hunger is unbelievable. He ran 50 yards there to hook Conor O'Mahony, and Owen Larkin an easy score.
But as you say, Henry effectively made that for Owen Larkin. Kilkenny back again now, wanting to take the lead. That's towards Eddie Brennan's corner. Might drop down here, but drops down for Padraig Maher to take. And the fullback gets it away for Tipperary. Down towards Noel McGrath. We haven't seen anything of him so far. Here's Tommy Welch. Skips away from the would-be challenge. Again, providing the fodder in there for the inside forwards. Henry Shefflin and Eddie Brennan go for it. It's Brennan who gets there. Brennan. Beautiful shot over the bar. Another for Eddie Brennan. 2 goals and 5 points now in this year's championship, and Kilkenny lead in the final this year by 5 points to 4. 17 minutes are gone.
Yeah, despite all he's won, I think one of the most underrated players of all time. I think one of the greatest forwards we're ever likely to see.
Michael Kavanagh touching it down. Onto it quickly, here comes Noel McGrath, the 18-year-old. Back out once again, Kerwick's shot half blocked down, comes to Tommy Welch, put under pressure there, 20 metres out from his own goal, going this way and that before eventually clearing it a good 50 metres down the field towards the aforementioned Eddie Brennan. Comes back there towards Conor O'Mahony, slipping it inside here cleverly. Tip mounting another attack, that time it's John O'Brien. At that time it stopped somehow on the goal line by PJ Ryan. That was a nervy moment for him. Out again with the hand pass as far as Tommy Welch, and the clearance from his own 20-metre line. Pressure there on Brendan Maher because Eddie Brennan has got there first, and Eddie Brennan is fouled, and it's a free for Kilkenny.
Yeah, brilliant catch here by Brennan. Just talking about, this is the other end, PJ Ryan, sorry. Yeah, under a bit of pressure, did well because a goal like that slipped in under the bar against Waterford. Tommy Walsh started so well, you think there was a couple of them on the field, and I think, you know, a lot of players playing very, very well on both sides. Very entertaining match so far.
Certainly is that. Henry Shefflin to take this. If Henry is the most important member of that Kilkenny team, I wonder, is Tommy Walsh the second most important? He's certainly the most consistent after Henry Shefflin, as Henry puts that over the bar.
And he is, Jaron, answer your question. 6 All-Stars in a row since he started on the Kilkenny senior team. An unbelievable record, and he's outstanding out there again today.
And then you look around the rest of the team, you see last year's hurler of the year, Owen Larkin, Eddie Brennan, you were talking about. They've got stars everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Back in the middle again.
Putting it up to them.
They certainly are. Here comes John Tennyson. Did enough to get it forward here. Brendan Maher, the fullback, racing out for it there with Owen Larkin. He's a good player, the number 3. Free out for Tipperary. Tipperary suddenly find themselves 2 points behind. 19 minutes gone. Padraig Maher, who came to prominence with Tipperary's back-to-back All-Ireland minor winning teams. You might remember them in 06 and 07. Brendan Cummins to take this. Big, huge one. It's going to drop about 13 metres out from the Kilkenny goal. Brilliantly caught again by Tommy Welch. He must have glue on his hands. How did he stick that ball into his paw? Out as far as Henry Shefflin. Loses it to Conor O'Mahony. O'Mahony trying to get away from Henry. Henry sticks to the task. Again, there are reinforcements there to help out. Again, they try to work it out with Shane McGrath in difficulty. Brendan Maher in to try and help out as well. Third meeting of the year for these two teams, of course. They met twice in the league. Padraig Maher now, off his left-hand side. Down towards Noel McGrath. They've isolated him all of a sudden there with JJ Delaney. The goalkeeper comes out, and PJ Ryan gets it away. The umpire is signalling a 65.
That makes up for the last one, because I'm sure that was pulled across.
Let's look at it again here. Yeah, it came off McGrath. Shouldn't have been a 65, but the one before should.
There's still 2 fairly basic mistakes though, Jerry. You know, in an Ireland final, you know, you shouldn't be making mistakes like that.
All right, so it's going to be a 65, and Owen Kelly's come out to take it. Score of 3 points out of 4 for Tipperary already, of course.
Really is 6 or 7 water water boys, I won't call them boys, but water carriers on the field at the moment. Just shows you the pace of the game so far.
Well, they could do with this one because it's some 6 minutes now since Tipperary scored in this final. Owen Kelly taking his time over it, and it was well worthwhile. Another for Owen Kelly and for Tipperary. So it's now 6-5.
This is just unbelievable. Tommy's not that big. Eye on the ball all the way. Brilliant catch. And straight away, 70-yard clearance.
Henry Shefflin comes from behind to try and catch that one. It breaks, however, from his grasp. John O'Brien in there to challenge as well. Both managers on the sideline claiming that it should be their ball, but it's going to be a sideline ball for Tipperary. And Brendan Maher lining up for duty. Brendan Maher, the 20-year-old primary school teacher, who was captain of the minors here 2 years ago. It's a good cut up towards Lar Corbett. Broken down here, taken out by JJ Delaney. Gets it away once again. Pressure on Tipperary's backline once more. Richie Power trying to impress. Out comes Brendan Maher once again. And certainly the questions you might ask beforehand about the two Mahers at the back, they've been answered, the questions, because they've done well. Out as far as Lar Corbett. Lar Corbett's got one already, and Lar Corbett's got a second. Great point. Wonderful score by Lar, and the teams are level once again, level for the third time.
Yeah, and that move is certainly working well. Lar's using his pace to great effect, and lovely striker on the run.
Well, it's exactly what we would have hoped for, I suppose, in the first half, after the imbalanced finals of the last 2 years. Oh, brilliant work by Declan Fanning coming out to collect that one. Out into the middle as far as James Woodlock, who's a guard in Kilkenny. Out as far as John O'Brien. In there it goes, brilliantly snapped on there by Owen Kelly, trying to get away from his man, and Kilkenny will not yield an inch, so they give away the freeze, and it might be as good as a point anyway.
And that's something that John O'Brien's been doing brilliantly all year. You know, most lads will be tempted to have a go from there, but John O'Brien is playing that lovely ball inside into the full forward line. And Owen Kelly, as I've said a couple of times already, he's razor sharp. Every ball that's come his way, he's won it.
No black cards, but the referee has noted Michael Kavanagh now, so he's ticked Kavanagh and he's ticked Rice in recent times.
Yeah,
and they've been warned.
Another thing interesting, Kilkenny now are back with Shefflin centre forward, Nolan Larkin on the wing. The changes didn't work. The tipped half back line stood up to the early onslaught, and they had to move Shefflin and Larkin back into the positions.
As Owen Kelly puts it over the bar. A 5th point for Owen Kelly, and Tipperary are back in front again.
Yeah, super catch, and Michael Kavanagh didn't do an awful lot wrong, but Hurl was in around stopping Owen Kelly getting the weapon.
Kelly's had 5 shots at the target. He's got 5 points so far. It's Henry Shefflin, as Michael was saying, back out at centre forward now. Here he is winning that ball against Conor O'Mahony, hoping to get more change and hoping to open up the middle for Kilkenny. Tommy Wellstead spreading it to the angles here. Richie Hogan, huge day for him. Will he deliver? He's delivering right now to trying to get away from Paul Curran, and Lar Corbett was after him and hooked him brilliantly, but it holds up the attack for just a moment because Owen Larkin's in there once again, trying to go by Shane McGrath. Still Larkin, will a hand pass it through. Still there's a chance here. Over there is Derek Ling up in the corner, and Derek Ling, the midfielder, has put it over the bar. Good score by Ling. His 4th point in this year's championship, first of the day here, and he ties it up at 7 points apiece once again. It's a thrilling match in Croke Park.
Yeah, Gerard was a great score, but how did Kilkenny ever have to work as hard for a score? It was unbelievable. They were closed down, midfielders and forwards from Tip all swarming back around them and putting fierce pressure on them, and that's Kilkenny style, and Tip are doing it as well, matching them man for man.
Cummins' puck out again, huge delivery. Can they win it? It's again Kilkenny who win that ball from the puck out by Tip, and it's Jackie Tyrrell who sends it way back down the field again. It breaks beautifully here as far as Richie Hogan out onto the left hand side. Little shot by Richie Hogan, and that will do his confidence a power of good. First of the day for Richie Hogan. Kilkenny sneak back into the lead once again. He got the broken ball here, raced onto it. Great work by the 21-year-old.
Yeah, he's very, very quick hands. Superman to pick up a ball like that.
Well, the short puck out has been tried time and again. Let's see how it works out this time. The conventional long puck out wasn't working out, and the shorter puck outs has put Tipperary in difficulty again, but this time they cope. Brendan Maher linking up here with James Woodlock. Kilkenny will be hoping that he can last the full 70 minutes. That's a poor clearance straight to Brian Hogan.
That's not great either.
That's a poor ball out. Woodlock was after it, but so too was his colleague in midfield, who's fouled this time, Shane McGrath. Free to Tipperary. Trailing, as you can see, by 8 points to 7.
Yeah, and Woodlock and Shane McGrath getting on an awful lot of ball in the middle of the field. Very athletic figures, and Derek Ling is featuring a bit, but Michael Rice very quiet, who's been outstanding all year.
So it'll be Shane McGrath who will hit this one, or will it? No, it's going to be Kelly. Kelly's got to come out to take it. He's done well so far. 5 points in the match. 3 of them from conventional frees, 1 a 65, 1 from play as well. So showing us the full range of skills. So 65 metres out from the target, in front of a packed crowd at Croke Park. Can he tie it up at 8 points apiece? The answer is yes. Terrific striking. 2 really good free takers, superb free takers really in action this afternoon in Owen Kelly and Henry Shefflin. Well, now let's look at the puck outs and see what happens here. The referee, by the way, has gone back down to talk to one of his umpires. Where the puck out's concerned, neither team doing particularly well. Kilkenny have won 3 of their 10 so far, and Tipperary have won 4 of their 10. So it's not the kind of form you expect.
No, both half back lines well on top under the high ball, but and you know, Tipperary will be very happy with the way they've started in this final. 12 of them never played in an All-Ireland final before, so it's huge for them. And
it's Tipperary who initially won that puck out from Kilkenny's strike out a goal, and it's won back again by Shane McGrath. McGrath back down towards Noel McGrath, his namesake, gets on it this time, trying to provide the pass inside for Owen Kelly. It bounces around, comes off Brian Hogan. The referee blows the whistle, saw an unfair challenge, and it's going to be a free in for Tipperary, and a delighted Lark Corbett already saluting what he hopes will be another point and a lead point for Tipperary with 27.5 minutes gone. And this time the referee has noted the name of Brian Hogan.
Yeah, and George, it's a thing we talked about before with Kilkenny, maybe fouling a bit at the back and giving away frees. Against with Owen Kelly out there, you can't do that. Now, I thought that was a 50-50 ball. It broke out the field. Both of them went for the ball, were tussling for it, and I think Tip were very lucky to win that free.
This is a relatively easy free for Owen Kelly to put over the bar. So another one, and it's now 9 points to 8. Let's look at this again and make your own mind up here whether or not there really was a case against Brian Hogan.
No, he's 100% going for the ball, and if anything, Larry Corbett was trying to block him running for the ball.
This time the puck out hit towards Eddie Brennan. Linesman on this near side, who is James Owens from Wexford. Secondly, it's going to be a Tipperary sideline cut. Well, such is the way in which this game has seesawed. The lead has changed hands some 6 times so far. That's a big long one, but it's an inaccurate one, and it's going to be a line ball for Kilkenny. Strange.
And Owen Kelly and George Lane are having a fair tussle inside there. On the ball and off the ball and before the ball and after the ball there.
Really is a great pity in a way. I know they're lucky, Kilkenny, that they've got Jay Delaney, who's such an adaptable player who can play at full back, but I think his natural position is left half.
Possibly the most complete wing back, you know, of the last 20 years.
This time the cut in by Michael Rice. Works in Tipperary's favour, because back there to collect it is Pat Kerwick. 5.5 minutes to go to half time. Kerwick almost running into a cul-de-sac, eventually gives the ball away. Coming across to clear it here is JJ Delaney. John O'Brien under it with Henry Shefflin of Kilkenny, who did enough on it to get it back to Michael Rice, who provides the ball inside. This time it's Richie Power trying to pick it up. There too is Aidan Fogarty, the corner forward. Tipped there in numbers with Brent Porrick Maher, and helped out here by Declan Fanning in the green helmet. Gets it away towards Lark Corbett. Lark chasing after this one, taking it down that wing. They're all after him. Richie Power's after him, can't get to him. Lark strikes, and Lark hits an absolute beauty. A third for Lark Corbett. 3 shots at the target, 3 points, and Tipperary lead the match by 2. It's Tipperary 10, Kilkenny 8. Lark Corbett, they were saying beforehand, is he in form? Will he deliver? He certainly delivered a wonderful first half.
Yeah, Ger, and you talk about leadership in teams. Lara Corbett and Owen Kelly are the two players from 2001, along with Brendan Cummins. They've got all Tipperary scores, 10 points between them. Kelly has got 5 frees out of 5 at 65, and they've got the 4 points in play between them. And that's what you call real leadership. There's no shouting and running out of them. They're going along about their business, and two of them are having fantastic games.
Nice and cool, Henry Shefflin to avail of that foul by Conor O'Mahony just a moment ago, and he's got his 3rd point of this match. So just a point between them. Well, it's one that Kilkenny certainly needed, because they'd gone 5-6 minutes without providing a score. So the first half possession so far, Kilkenny just edging it ever so slightly. Lara Corbett's after it again. He does well, gets it in as far as Calnan. Seamus Calnan, is there a goal chance on here? Stopped well. That was John Tennyson, got his body in the way. Owen Kelly comes out as well, feeds it across there towards Noel McGrath. McGrath has 3 Kilkenny players after him, hand passing it towards Shane McGrath, his namesake. It all breaks down in the end because Kilkenny chased after Tipperary in packs. They were hounding them, denying them space and opportunity. Comes out to Owen Larkin, and Larkin frees up that ball and went to his own forwards. Hogan's after it, Richie Hogan. He's got a point already. He mishits this time, but he puts the ball wide. It was a chance.
It's just as well he didn't score, because Richie Power jumped straight into Pádraig Maher there. He wasn't facing the ball at all, and it broke to him. If you watch the high ball coming in here, Richie Power had jumped straight into Pádraig Maher. Just a little bit of inexperience from Hogan there. He should have made sure to control that and maybe tapped it over the bar.
3rd wide instead. Glorious chance. Brendan Cummins puck out. Tipperary have done well in this first half. They have battled hard with Kilkenny, the champions of the last 3 years. But the champions have so much class, so much skill all over the park, and they've got Larkin now to try and break through the half-back line. Out towards Eddie Brennan it comes. Brennan going for the target, and Brennan puts it straight between the sticks. It's 3 for Eddie Brennan. It's 10 for Kilkenny. 10 points apiece, close to half-time.
Yeah, Joe, what a score from Brendan Maher is playing very, very well. Eddie Brennan has got 3 chances and scored the 3 of them, but this is a brilliant All-Ireland final. There's hardly a player on the field who's not playing well, and that's unusual to see. Oh,
it's absolutely rip-roaring. Cummins puck out, dropping it into the half forwards this time, where Brian Hogan collects it. Does well. Semi-final almost passed him by, but today's been very good, Hogan. That ball was well delivered into Richie Power. Power is fouled, free into Kilkenny, and they can go back into the lead here once again.
Yeah, super catch, and we're seeing some great fielding all over the field. Richie, that's the first time maybe Richie got on the ball, but he's back in full forward again now, and a great catch.
Full credit to the referee as well for allowing this game to flow. It's been hugely enjoyable. Henry Shefflin to hit it, and Henry Shefflin to put it over the bar. A 4th for Henry Shefflin. They've all come from frees, and Kilkenny lead by 11 points to 10. Short puck out once again. Out as far as Paddy Stapleton, bypassing midfield, inside towards the inside line, but this time it's Pat Kerwick who gets there, does well, but then it came out to Woodlock, who couldn't take it. Michael Kavanagh could. Eddie Brennan struggling to contain it, back towards Woodlock once more. Woodlock going through. Out there as far as Owen Kelly, under pressure. What a shot! What a point! What a player! 8 points for Owen Kelly.
Yeah, great score again, and maybe we're seeing the benefit of him having a light season now. He's obviously got his injuries sorted out over the last month or so, but he hasn't had that much mileage. He's a lot of mileage on the clock, but has a light year this year, and he's absolutely flying it out there as well.
Well, the team's level for the 7th time, and there are going to be 2 minutes of additional play at the end of the opening 35. 82,106 people are enjoying it thoroughly. Hope you are as well, wherever you're watching it, at home or around the globe.
Jaron, there's a friend of mine, Pat Buggy from Cloncaster, and his wife Angela out in the Gold Coast in Australia, Mary, Patricia, and they had a son 3 weeks ago on the Christmas. They called him JJ, John Joe Buggy, so just say hello to all of those out in Australia.
He's got to be a hurler.
That's what he's hoping. He's called after JJ, I asked him last night.
Michael Rice is cut in, is stopped here by Paul Curran. Out it comes again towards Pat Kerwick. Lovely turn by Kerwick to get away from Tennyson. He might have the pace on Tennyson, he has. Gets away, the referee allowed an advantage initially because Tennyson threw his stick, then kicks it away. Up here as far as Richie Hogan. Hogan dancing away from the challenge in stoppage time. Remember, 2 minutes being played. The pressure there on Pádraig Maher with Richie Power breathing down his neck. Was he lying on the ball? He was. And it's going to be a free in. Free in for Kilkenny. Pádraig Maher questioning the decision. I think the referee says you lay down at it and handle it on the ground.
Yeah, just have a look at this now, Rick.
Yep. Ooh.
That was harsh enough, you know. I don't think he made any deliberate attempt to play the ball on the ground.
Anyway, this is going to be a free to Kilkenny, and Henry Shefflin's going to take it from a difficult angle 20 metres out. Straight as a die. 5th for Henry Shefflin. So 12 points to 11. Kilkenny shading it. But it's one of those All-Ireland finals where you couldn't honestly say who's going to win. Kerwick couldn't hold it. Comes back out again towards the marvellous Tommy Welch. Back once more. Richie Hogan in there. Didn't quite handle it, but it comes instead to Richie Power, who was immediately behind him and anticipating. Declan Fanning now chasing after it. Power's after it again. Hasn't scored so far. He'd love a point. And that's beautifully put over the bar. Richie Power's first. He's injured his hand as well. Bravely carrying it through there. Only 23 years of age. Well, he's a young player who'd only just started primary school when these counties met in the last final. His dad was playing in that.
There's 2 nasty taps there from John O'Brien just when he was going through, and that's why he's down, but he's back on his feet.
Half-time has gone here, the half-time whistle. 2 points the margin after Henry Shefflin had scored 5 points for Kilkenny in the first half. But Tipperary certainly put it up to Kilkenny, as I've noticed.
Just interesting there, Liam Sheedy travelled maybe 70 yards across the field to have a fairly serious word with Darren McCarron going off. He's obviously not happy maybe with some of what went on in the first half, but I would have thought the referee was fair. Maybe one mistake on either side, but overall, I think he meant to let the game flow, and it was very enjoyable.
Well, Kilkenny created 18 chances, Tipperary 15. The half-time score is Kilkenny 13 points, Tipperary 11. Back to Michael.
Thank you, Ger. Cyril Farr, Gerald Nan, Tomas McCahey with me here in studio. The last 2 years, gentlemen, the All-Ireland final was over at half-time. It mightn't, Gerald, be over at 5 o'clock this evening?
It certainly isn't over at half-time today anyway, you know. What a terrific game, you know, and the physical exchanges right from the very, very start. In the first 10 minutes, I think we had no score from play. And the tackling that went in on both sides, the hooking, the blocking. Now, people are critical of the referee, but what could he do? He'd be blown every few seconds if he was going to blow for it. Tip are playing the same as Kilkenny play, and why not let him at it, you know?
And the pace of the game, Cyril Farrell. I mean, Usain Bolt would struggle with that.
Yeah, well, it's fantastic to look at, and as the boy said, the ref has let the game flow, and he probably has to. It was terrible hard tackles going in, great scores being gotten, great. So Lara Corbett flying around the place, Kerwick flying around the place, John, you know, they were all coming around. Tip have played very, very well and really took the game to Kilkenny. But after all that, Kilkenny are still going in 2 points up at half time. They will not be happy the way they're playing up front. Forwards are there to get away from the backs at all. Their backs, they're typical to Kilkenny. The backs are holding back and holding the line well, but they're not helping out midfield much.
A worry from Tipperary's point of view is they gave it everything in that first half. They really played, as Cyril said, out of their skins. They're 2 points down. Yeah,
but they're in a great position. I mean, 2 points down in All-Ireland final, playing very, very well. I think they're in a fantastic position, right? I mean, 2 performances that stand out for me there in that first half. Tommy Welch, right half back, absolutely brilliant. And Lar Corbett, when he went to centre forward, people said, Lar Corbett going to centre forward, what's he going to do? But he's taken Brian Hogan all over the park, and he's got 3 absolutely fantastic points. And maybe it's an omen, Michael. We've seen the last 2 All-Ireland finals, the 2 goal chances that Kilkenny created in that first half, they failed to take them. And no better meant for them to fall to Henry Shefflin and Richie Hogan, and they failed to take those opportunities. And maybe we'll pay the price at the end of this game for that.
OK, we're going to take a short break here in the programme. More from the panel right after that.